Welcome to my show, Musings from 20th Street. My name is Dr. Jane Goldberg. I am a psychoanalyst, and I am the owner of La Casa Day Spa, a holistic day spa on East 20th Street. This is the 42nd session of the Really Real Reality Group Therapy show. And in the last session, we ended the session with one of the group members calling another group member condescending. And so I want to just talk about, once again, what it is that I see the work that we're trying to do here. And that is that there are lots of feelings that are being stimulated. What I want for my group members to be able to accomplish in this context is to take their feelings and wrap their thoughts around their feelings. What do they call that? Hot dog in a bun or something? I think pigs in a blanket or something. Mm-hmm. So if you can think about the feelings as being, kind of the core, but the thought surrounds it, and the thought actually makes it rich and jewel-like, as opposed to just spewing out pure feeling, which can be quite lovely when it's a positive feeling, but can be quite nasty and ugly when it's a negative feeling. And of course it's the negative feelings that we all have the most trouble with. So I referred in a previous session to this research longitudinal study that was done where they were looking at impulse control and delay of gratification in children. So they offered them a marshmallow, and then they said, well, if you wait a little while, we'll give you a second marshmallow. And they tracked those people for the next 40 years, and what they found is that the children who in fact were able to wait for the second marshmallow, to delay the gratification and not gobble up the first marshmallow as soon as they got it, on every score in life did more successfully. And in this group therapy process, it takes a lot of delay of gratification. It takes a lot of impulse control because feelings are being stimulated on a very intense level, on a fairly continuous level. But to wrap the feeling around with thought, that takes control, it takes consciousness, it takes decision. And that's what it is that I would like to see all of us be able to accomplish here. So with that said, let's see where we go today.
I want to know why your perception of what, why you said that, the whole condescending thing. I think that
because she said she has to bring herself down to her level in order to communicate to our level. So he perceived that as condescending. I don't think it was a positive statement. Do you?
Were you finished, Dean? Yeah.
I don't know if he even finished his thought the last time.
I'd like to
You
hear
really
him
don't
finish.
want him to continue, do you,
He's talking about his thought.
Well, yeah. Well, Bob,
Dee, your question was, I just want to clarify, your question is to Josh?
Yes.
Yeah.
well, we say a lot of things in conversation, but whatever we say is, being philosophical again, it's based on our life experience, but it's also subjective. So when Barbara said that she comes down to our level, I found that a little insulting and unfortunate, but it was a reflection of her experience and her subjectivity.
Well, if you're
And
attacked on a
it was
constant
unfortunate.
basis and you're yelling, I don't yell. I'm not a yeller. I grew up with yellers, okay? Since they all died on me, I don't have to yell anymore. So I
Barbara, you seem very tied to the perception that, because you say it as a refrain, like, a song, and you keep coming back to the, what's it called? The
catch
stanza, the chorus. That you're attacked on a continuous basis. You're not.
Well, today it's been like vomit.
No, I don't think I don't think that today is any different than any other day,
All right,
and I
well,
don't
okay,
think.
rest my
And I
case.
think, and I've pointed out to you, several times, that you've been defended, and you seem to, it's like, remember that picture? If anybody took psychology in college or high school, you get this picture that, if you look at it one way, it's a vase. If you look at it another way, it's
Right.
an old
Rorschach
man.
test.
Right.
No, it's not a Rorschach test.
Like a
The ink
mosaic
blot?
or something.
It's your perception. Do you see the foreground as foreground or the foreground as background? And the picture changes. And you seem to need to see always the foreground as being Barbara's attack. Even when everyone in this room, I think, including Mr. Sweetie next to you will tell you that it's just not what's happening.
It's not, except that he's a brand new person and he did it too. So I think that's,
Thank
it
you.
sort of comes to fruition to her every single time that everybody's going to attack her because even a new person's never even been here.
All
I'd
of
like
you
to
can
submit
correct
that
me if
that's a
I'm wrong.
reliving.
Go ahead, Carl.
I think that what happened earlier wasn't that Barb said, I'm going to come down to
I
everyone's
don't remember
level.
that either.
What happened was Jane said to Barb, so you're really lowering yourself to her level when you guys were
That's what
arguing.
she said.
That's exactly
And
it.
that's what she said. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
She had come down to your level, because
Because
you
you were-
guys were arguing. She didn't say she was going to
Come down to our level.
Yeah, I believe
she
she
didn't
did.
say that. No, she didn't.
No, I didn't.
She didn't say
I
that.
said exactly. She knows what I
Thank you.
said.
That's exactly what happened.
You didn't say that either. 'cause
Oh,
you
that's
said
what
it was
happened.
you.
That's what happened.
No,
tried-
everyone in this room that was
That's what
listening
happened.
actually
Whatever
heard
you
it.
want.
You hear what you want to hear.
Because
Selective
she was
hearing,
accepting what
selective hearing.
what Dr. Goldberg was telling her was what was happening to her. So she was just saying,
Yeah, I am lowering
comes to
myself
himself,
to your level and to
meaning that
Walter's
you're
level
right.
when
And then
Walter
you
yells.
agreed and said, yes, you are.
I should just ignore it.
So it wasn't being
because
condescending
I'm getting
at all. I think it was
myself
totally
upset.
misread.
I'm giving you the power over me. And then I start screaming.
Maybe Josh had an existential experience and he felt that he was explaining his feelings. So saying that you were being condescending made him. He must have felt something.
But he
But
felt
he's never
something
been-
But he doesn't
based
know how to
on
express it.
First day in the
misinterpretation.
group.
Right. So he doesn't know how to express what we already learned.
Right. That's the problem.
So
with having
he
new people in the group.
felt the sense to call you condescending because something bothered. Must have.
I just think it was
touched
out of
you.
he just misinterpreted what she
well,
said.
Well, but Kay's
we're always
misinterpreting it too.
wrestling with interacting with people. So, for instance, if I said I want to come up to your level, would that show a lack of self-esteem on my part? Probably would. So, psychotherapy and psychoanalysis is filled with these ambiguities continually.
For me, it would do a lot of good with that comment and with how other people speak some of the time. When they're saying things like that, which may be attacks or maybe slightly camouflage attacks, if they say, in my view, it's a way of owning it.
Right.
And it's somehow it comes across to me as a little less attacking, and it's taking responsibility for, if it were me, my view, and maybe gives the person more latitude to respond, invites response, and I have a
People
feeling. I
selective
have a
hearing
feeling
here,
now
okay?
that
They hear what they want to hear. If you
I-
hear what you want to hear, you can't solve an issue.
I have a feeling that I'd like to communicate to you, Barbara. First, when you said lower, when you go to Walter's level, it sounded like you smiled, and then I stopped. This is defensive. And then a couple of steps, I got to realizing it was a little difficult, that I did feel a hurt about that.
Well,
She said the
that's
same
why
thing
I
to
said
me,
that,
Walter.
because there are two
I'm not speaking about anybody else.
Okay, this is,
I
Barbara,
want to
you need to do this.
be here.
Please cooperate with me so I can love you. I don't want you to defend yourself, and I don't want you to explain yourself. I want you to just process Walter had that experience. And I would like you to, in some way, acknowledge that you understand that Walter had that experience, that what you said hurt him. You don't have to plead guilty, and you don't have to plead innocent. You don't have to say, I'm a sadist and I really wanted to hurt you. You don't have to say, I'm Virgin Mary and I didn't want to hurt you. You just have to process, he felt hurt.
I'm a little confused. I thought she said it to Kay.
She did.
That doesn't matter.
Well, I'm in my feeling, if
doesn't.
that
She said
comes
that
up
you're-
between Kay and Barbara.
She said
they
to
can
Kay
handle
and
that, but
Walter.
right now,
She said Kay and
it's
Walter.
between- this is between Barbara and me.
But I'll tell you why,
Screaming on the top of their
Barbara,
lungs.
I'm going to explain to Dee why it doesn't matter. Because if you're concerned about accuracy, it is really going to make it difficult to have a relationship, because everybody's just going to be arguing about, no, this is what's really real.
Right.
So it's really, to be in a relationship, it's really about everybody's perception, everybody's experience, And you have to honor everybody's emotional experience, whether it's
Yeah.
accurate or inaccurate.
Okay.
Because it's accurate from the point of view of being what they experienced.
Right, okay.
Right, Shanti?
I would like to stay with this between me and Barbara. So, I guess did you read that? Did you hear me well?
Well, I know you probably got hurt from it, but I was also hurt when you were screaming at me a few weeks ago, and you never apologized for that.
See, that would have been a really much better communication if you hadn't linked the two, if you had just stayed with
But
him.
that, do you want me
and
to tell
said-
the truth, or you want me to those are my feelings.
No, I don't
Those
want
are
you to
my
tell the
feelings.
truth.
I
want-
want me to lie? That would
I
be
don't
a
want you to
first.
lie either. What I want you to do is have a communication that you have processed somebody else's experience. Then, after we've done that, then we can go to your experience if the group feels like doing that. But I'd just love to see that happen. And that would indicate real transformation in you, if you could do that. If you could just show impulse control and stop having to communicate your experience all the time and just allow somebody else's experience to penetrate through to you and process that, and let your communication just reflect that point in time. Now, I don't know whether you're feeling attacked or supported, but
I'm not supported. No, I don't feel supported because.
okay, I want Dee to explain to you why what I'm saying to
Do
you
I
is,
feel like an idiot or what?
is supportive.
Well, maybe he's going to say she attacked her.
I
I don't know.
feel
I
Goes
think
whatever
Dee got-
she says he
You
goes.
might get
Barbara
She's
now.
not attacking her at all.
Yeah, Dee got what I'm doing.
Help her.
Barbara?
She's what she is.
I feel, Barbara,
Yes.
you've been looking at me in the eyes a little, and I feel a measure of yielding coming from that.
What do you mean a measure of yielding?
Like giving in, at least insofar as saying, you hear me.
I see you, Walter. I see you. And
You
I'm
see
getting
me,
I'm
you hear
getting
me,
a side
that's
attack
equivalent.
over here. These
and,
are the side
and I have a
attacks.
little more to say about it.
Yes, that was
That
a
was a side attack,
Okay.
darling. Yes, I know you
I
didn't hear it.
apologize.
I know your selective hearing
apologized.
isn't working.
She apologized.
I have a little
And
more to
that's
say
not an
about
attack?
the comment about
Because it's all
going
day,
to my
Kay.
level
It's all
of
day.
yelling.
Oh,
Relax,
can
she
we identify
apologized.
that then
Oh,
too
no.
instead of
She
picking on me?
apologized.
No.
Okay.
I have a little more
I've
to
done all
say
the work
about that.
in that
Please
field that I'm
continue,
going to.
Walter.
All right, all right.
Without the side
All right, thank you.
rubble.
Yes, I go to that level. At times, I do want to have my anger when it comes up. And I don't consider it bad. You might call it lower in a way, and maybe I'd say lower, but not necessarily bad. There are times when anger is justified, and it has to do, it relates to a few things. Why I'm in favor of free-for-alls here, what I think about real catharsis. And I would like to address also, you're saying I didn't apologize. You are right, I didn't apologize, and it would be a lot for me to fish it up now and really look back at it and see if I owe you an apology. My impulse is no, and what first comes to mind is you were like doing an old scene with me yourself, even if it was a fear scene. And I.
What do you mean a scene? It wasn't a scene. It was a
Yes,
reaction to
yes,
your anger.
I see you
Walter.
back reliving so much, and in that
Yes, I
situation
was.
too,
I
you're
was.
reliving old times way back.
Yes, but I haven't had that brought up in a long time, and you scared the living shit out of me, to be honest with you. And I wasn't the only one you scared.
So
Brought up.
So, you know.
I'm seeing that
it is what
John
it is.
is looking thoughtful, so I'm wondering what John is thinking.
Yeah, I was wondering. Well, first of all, I want to apologize to Walter for last week. I was last time we were here, right? Not last week.
2
but-
weeks ago.
Yeah, I was making faces behind his back. I feel really bad about that.
That's real
Faces
mature.
behind my back.
Yeah, that's really mature.
I know
That's
because
really
you talk because I have like I have this tick that where I sometimes I just I'm very immature when the camera's on, and I just wanted to tell him I'm sorry. It wasn't anything malicious or anything like that.
I guess you would have
It's just like you were talking to her and I was going like,
Stop touching him.
I'm sorry. But what
It's
happened
against
was,
if you're having a fine feeling toward Walter, put it
right?
into
No,
words.
I just wanted to pause because last time, every time you talked and the camera was on you and I was in the shot, I was making cross eyes. I just wanted to apologize. It wasn't at you. I don't know why I did it. I just
Wow,
felt guilty.
You did it because you were
Yes, it is a tick. It's true. I have sometimes I make faces. I don't
Instead
know.
of saying it,
you were having negative feelings toward Walter.
Sometimes ticks
And you-
can come from
Turret
an
syndrome.
impulsive
Tick.
do you forgive him,
feeling.
Walter?
I don't
Beautiful
know what
question.
to think about it and what to feel
Beautiful
about it at this
question.
point.
Okay.
What to feel. I don't know what to feel about it at this point.
Usually you're
I
such a
have to-
fast processor.
The reason why I brought it up is because
I'd have to really look at it more and get a much clearer picture.
no, the reason why I brought it up is because you mentioned catharsis and just a moment ago, and you're talking to Barbara, and I thought about that, and I said, well, the faces come not from having a catharsis. It's all a buildup of bullshit and immaturity, and there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on, and I think that's what builds the wall. And you mentioned and yesterday you mentioned that you did something that you love, and that's you were acting in a play. So I was asking, does the therapy group, did it help your performance, or does the performance help you bring anything here to the group?
Either way, did this therapy group help that, or did that help this?
Both. Does it both? Do they balance out?
I'm not. What I
Like now, how
yesterday,
you're feeling now?
I'm feeling like I've brought it here a little, and I like it.
Right.
But also, what's here has me bright too, because in spite of everything, there's a group of people here, and we're really trying to communicate. And that means a lot to me. Just being together with people.
You think
You know,
yelling is
caring.
a form of communication?
Oh, now Barbara,
my
the man
Relax.
is moved to tears.
Relax.
When I
but
go
it-
on
but
stage, I try to have my real feelings too.
Okay, I'm going to
Both.
follow
But I wanna
my
be here for
co-leader's
real.
advice, Shanti, who told me to relax.
Yeah, just
Okay,
relax.
so Shanti, could you?
Because I think this has been a very beautiful moment that we've just gone through. It's very moving to
Yes.
experience what the interaction's been. There's been an opening, and there's been almost like a confession, if you will, and I mean that in the nicest way. Please believe me. And a request for, you used the word forgiveness, and I think that's really hitting it right on the mark. Right on the mark. When someone apologizes, there's a request inherent in that for, hey there, I forgive you, because I know you mean that. Because it's not easy for people to say, I'm sorry. It really isn't. For some of us, it's almost impossible.
How does that make you feel?
To what?
You're intellectualizing now.
I'm not
so
intellectualizing
I
at
just-
all. I am describing what I'm witnessing, and if you're hearing the tone, then you can hear the feeling. Because I'm talking straight from the heart.
I believe you are.
I know you know. I know you believe it. So, I mean, and can I say I feel,
I would have thought you would have said something like, I feel warm, I feel close to Walter, I feel loving to Walter, not this is what happened, and this is what went on, and this is why it's good, and this is why it's bad, and this is blah, 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 blah.
I
You're
love
a
that. I
stern
love that.
You're more demanding than I am.
She's very-
Learn from you.
Well, I
that
do
was right
feel
in the
trust
script.
in what she
That's what-
says.
Hold on, can I just, and I really want to hear, very much want to hear from you. But that's like, and I have this experience out of the group as well as in it.
Right.
People write my script.
Your script?
Yeah, you're writing my script. You said, I would have liked you to have.
Because we're supposed to be expressing feelings, Shanti, not observations.
I just got finished talking. Oh, you're a really hard kid too on this. If I shed a tear, would you ask me how I feel?
No,
Okay.
but I would feel.
I would.
Yeah, I know you would. that knocks me
Most
out.
of all,
That really knocks me
Most of all, when you shed a tear, I'm going to ask you how you feel because that's an action as opposed to verbalization.
Oh, I get it, and I appreciate that very much. I will try to take what you've said under advisement, by the way. I will try to improve my...
And remind me
My-
if I'm doing it too, because I'm a big,
Okay, cool.
kettle calling. What is it? The black
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
the
got
kettle,
it.
whatever.
Yeah, okay.
So,
When
please.
I'm telling you, when you ask Shanti, and are you having a feeling, you're expressing a
Exactly.
feeling without saying what you're feeling.
Exactly.
Which is that I don't know what you're expressing. Maybe you were annoyed with her. Maybe you were hungry for more from her. Maybe you wanted to feel loved by her. Whatever was
Right,
going on for
right.
you. I don't know because you didn't say.
Right,
You just
I didn't
came
express-
out with
Yeah,
why
kind
you-
of. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of
That's
a
okay,
complaining
but
session.
see, my job,
You can learn
quite frankly,
on
is
the
being
extent.
able to handle my feelings. Not only to share, but to be able to say to myself, self, looks like you're having a problem with this, you can handle it. I don't ask why I'm having it. I say, I tell myself, I can handle it. I don't have to project,
Right.
that you're the cause for my inability to handle my feelings.
Right.
I mean, really, and
Yeah,
that-
I could use a little bit of
Yeah,
that.
well, we all can, and it's a tremendous effort to say, I'm pissed,
Especially when it's a
but it's
painful
not your
feeling.
fault
Right.
that I'm pissed.
Especially when the feelings fall into the negative realm. The positive ones are easy, but then when you get the negative ones, you want to lash out.
There's one other thing I want to say, and then I want to hear from Walt. I really, if you don't mind. There is no problem that we talk about, each and every one of us, that's not true for all of us, it seems to me. I mean, sometimes the shoe fits, it's a little tight or it's a little loose, but basically the shoe fits us all.
I want to say to Walter that I do really appreciate how you value this process of our coming together and trying to be together in an emotionally significant way, and that I was very moved at your being moved at the value of this process.
Yeah, I was moved too.
I was too.
I was too.
And I want to add my...
And that's why I apologized to you, because I felt guilty. I said,
It's beautiful, that's beautiful.
it was something that was like, I was being condescending to you.
You don't
I
see
was
them.
coming, we just had this conversation about condescendingness, and that's why I apologized to you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but that's why, because I said, that's coming from condescension, and I think society is very insensitive in that way, and I've developed a kind of crude face. It's almost like...
Would you moved by Walter's moment though?
No, yeah, because after the
thought it was
after the
very
man
beautiful.
died, I started saying to myself, all these little things started to bother me, and I said, I should really make amends straight across the board.
Oh, that's neat.
That's moving too. So that's all the movement here is on this side of the room today. That's really nice to hear.
So that's why I wanted to
That's
share that.
not-
with
a
you.
negative
I'd like to
judgment.
respond with
it's
one
a
thing that
judgment.
comes to mind.
It's just a hard
Partly,
difficulty seeing the light.
I don't mind a little bit being like, even if it's a scapegoat for people at times, especially now it's really easier for me to do that with men. I don't want to be grossly hurt if I'm going to get really hurt by being scapegoat in a heavy way. I'm going to
Walter,
respond. But
Walter,
to
you
do that a
should-
little bit
Walter,
for somebody
Walter,
is a favor.
you should mind.
It's okay to mind.
It sucks to
But
be a
I've been,
scapegoat, Walter.
I'm in that place where
I know how that feels.
I can feel a little pain, and the pleasure I get is doing it for a friend. That gives me something. I don't mind serving. It's easier for me to do that
Okay.
for men
I
than
get
for women.
I get that it's
Although I'd like to be able to do it for
We're
women.
getting better.
I get that you experience it as giving a gift to somebody to let them be abusive to you, but it is not a gift to give somebody permission to let them be abusive. That is not a gift.
If they're conscious of it, if I make them conscious of it, if somehow or if there's a clear understanding that says, okay, you can play this way, you can joke with me.
Well, does this go
But
back to
I
your
do want you
father?
to take responsibility for it.
Does this go back to your father? Sounds like it's part of your taking the relationship. Did you
It
give him
probably
permission?
does. It probably does, and maybe my brother too. Although I can feel the pain as I say it around my brother, that
so
makes
it's,
it more
so it's
difficult for my
probably
brother.
the brother. That's the pattern that you related to
But
him.
I'd still
so you
do it
bring
for him some. If he would just fucking come down a bit and be friends with me some and stop playing the ready to.
Right.
And I wish I had fought back more with him. I got so scared. I was overwhelmed with fear. He did act like a monster at times, my brother.
We seem to have a lot
Wow,
in
Walter.
common in this group about abuse of siblings and parents, and that's why
It's
we're
amazing.
all fucked
Thank you
up.
for sharing.
That's why we're here, guys.
That's not
Yeah.
why we're all fucked up.
I don't
A lot of
think
people are
that's
fucked
not
up
bad.
because
I hear you.
of us.
No, I had loving parents.
You had good
loving-
parents. You
But
had
she
fairly
didn't hear a
decent
word
parents.
or
I-
feel a
Except
word
for your
you
mom.
said.
I don't think
Maybe she.
all of y'all are fucked up either. You know,
I think compared to
I don't
well,
think
nobody's
we're all fucked
normal.
up.
There's no such thing as anyone
Carol?
being normal.
I don't think we're all fucked up.
Thank
I
you.
think that we are human beings and we have feelings and We have buttons and different people push them, and we have different capacities and different preferences, and we're all just different.
Some are just a little more.
I think everybody's
I
fucked up.
didn't come here trying to get
saying
cured of
everybody's
So,
everything.
Carol, this is what I want to understand about you.
Okay.
Is that I always have the impulse to tell you how smart you are. And I just had the thought that maybe that impulse comes out of sensing that you think you're not smart.
She doesn't.
Or that she's nothing wrong with her.
You have low self-esteem?
I don't know.
I just want to
don't
know.
think so.
little.
I just want to know in terms of your evaluation of your intelligence. It's
Interesting.
very
I grew up
specific.
with smart people,
You are smart.
and I didn't know that I was smart too until I was 35.
Okay, but so it is a toxic introject, we'll call it.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's one that you understand now.
My first husband told me he's a genius. He really is. Michael Jensen. Oh, I shouldn't say his name. Anyway,
Whoa!
he's a genius.
Did he tell you were stupid, or did he?
No. He told me he was the first one that ever told me I'm a genius.
Yeah.
And I don't
Wow.
believe I'm a genius. I'm not saying that.
I think you're a
but
genius.
he recognized me
Carol.
as a genius.
I recognize you as a genius.
Wow. Thank you.
You get
Thank you.
you get the star today.
Wow. Well.
Oh, you're a genius. You just don't use your
Yeah, I'm
genius.
crazy like a fox. Is that it?
No, I don't know what that means, but if you decided that you wanted to use your genius to be useful to everybody around
Genius
you,
is not necessarily a good thing to have.
You would be, Barbara, you would be the most powerful person I've ever met.
Oh, that's a shock.
I
don't
think
say
everyone
that.
in this room, as far as I know each one of you, some more than others, I think everyone in here is genius.
I agree. It's just that I have the unique impulse to tell you a lot. So I was wondering if that was related to your
Oh,
history.
interesting.
Oh yeah, they're all geniuses.
Yeah.
Everyone in this room is a genius.
Yeah.
It wows me that everyone here is so smart.
But then how come we're so stupid sometimes?
Everyone is. Every person is.
You like that?
Well, I'll tell
I'm not
you,
stu-
at the age of post
I'm not
25, it is no longer your parents' fault. It's
Yeah.
no longer because you were abused. If you cannot
It's the government.
get yourself integrated after
Yay.
you reach the age of 25,
But you can't help that, though.
No, but I wanted
I
to
think
mention.
that's
I would like to add to something what Carol said. Right? You said that we're not crazy and stuff. But I think that we find that in therapy, but we enter therapy crazy. I believe that. I think we do, or else we wouldn't be here. I mean, I came from another country to
I'm
be
here
here.
because I thought it was crazy.
I didn't say you were, but I'm just saying that.
Why did you come?
I don't know. I went.
Fine. I did it for the same.
Yeah, but you know,
For a genius, you gotta know. You gotta know.
I went and I met Jane, and I thought she's cool. I want to hang out with her. That's
But I
it.
think she wanted
by the way,
people who had lives.
I stayed in analysis with my analyst until the day she died because I thought she was cool and wanted to hang out with her, and since we had established that relationship, that was the way I had to hang out with her. John, I don't think that people enter analysis or therapy because they're crazy or because they think they're crazy.
feel
No,
crazy.
people
You feel
enter
crazy.
people enter into therapy because they're in pain.
But what? But you're not. You don't feel that